loneliness, indifference, darkness, a morning that must not turn into day, melancholy. It is astonishing how closely all of this can be bound up with a country as sunny, cheerful, and to all appearances carefree as Greece. And it is no less astonishing that someone in this country must seek a sanctuary from all the aforementioned, to seek it and to dissolve within it, with only to feel alive for a brief moment, outside of time. Who would have thought that David Lynch would turn out to be connected to all this? Good morning. It's July 14th, 2026, and if you can believe it, it's Tuesday once again. People of two types come to the Goulandris Foundation's gallery, as they do to most art galleries in the world. Those who wish to tick a box because respectable and educated people visit galleries, and those who are weary of respectable and educated people and are trying to find solitude amidst something that overcomes time itself. It is remarkable how few tourists come to this gallery, especially given that it houses Van Gogh, so exalted by popular culture and marketing, a solitary Claude Monet, and great icon painter El Greco, and even him, one of David Lynch's favorite painters, Francis Bacon. He loved his own appearance and used to say that his face looked like a pudding. Nevertheless, creating a series of portraits of others was no easy task. People fall ill, die, wake up in a full mood, eat some questionable egg sandwich at a 24-hour cafeteria and spend the entire day on the toilet. In short, collaborating with them is far more difficult than with oneself. Though finding a common language with your own self can prove to be the work of a lifetime. Can it not? It is by no means accidental that one of Francis Bacon's studies for his own self-portrait hangs beside Pablo Picasso's nude woman with upraised arms. In 1927, the then 17-year-old Bacon, having fit his father's house in Ireland for the continent, visited an exhibition of Picasso's work in Paris. Peering into those dark contours, the model lines, sharp angles, and utter freedom, Bacon resolved to bring his life to painting. David Lynch said of his own paintings, "I wouldn't know what to do with color. Color to me is too real, it's limiting. It doesn't allow too much of a dream. The more you throw black into a color, the more dreamy it gets." And upon the canvases of Francis Bacon, who inspired him, this philosophy is most fully unveiled. Darkness fascinates with its uncertainty and terrifies with it at the same time. Bacon harbored a particular affection for religious motives. A constant thread-like presence of them can be traced throughout his entire body of work. Take for instance his crucifixions or the perennially recurring number 3. Nevertheless, Bacon denied the presence of any hidden meanings in his paintings. Everything for which they are created is the transmission of emotion, more often than not an emotion that is not entirely comfortable. Youth, beauty, the familiar order of things, your apparent material well-being, and ultimately, your very life. Everything gravitates toward destruction and decay. A human being is nothing more than a collection of bones, flesh, and nerve, endings in a leather sack. Our sole distinction from the ship carcasses in the mid department is that we contemplate this fate of ours far more frequently and deeply than the ship do. Something of this nature comes to mind when one gazes intently at Bacon's canvases. Everything is fleeting, and even the panic-stricken fear inherent in us all regarding the uncertainty of our future is merely a small, hopeless spark of fading senses. Incidentally, his screaming canvases were greatly influenced by Sergei Eisenstein's film Battleship Potemkin, which Bacon saw in Berlin in 1927, a handbook for most of the great directors of the last century. Much like Francis Bacon, David Lynch relished chaos, confusion, and the inevitable destruction of our lives, a beautiful and terrifying mystery that many other filmmakers strive so hard to regulate and to wrench from this very chaos. How is one to resist this chaos? Perhaps there is no need at all. After all, rather than dispersing the clouds of a city using aviation, it is far simpler to use an umbrella. Is it not? Tear yourselves away for a moment from the tourist crowds. Turn aside from the familiar path. Pause before these paintings and look for a short while into the translucent brushstrokes. Some mysteries are destined to remain mysteries forever, and therein lies the greatest beauty of our world. I've got good news! The gum you like is going to come back in style! Have a beautiful day now!